And joining us now via Skype, the winner of Ross Barnett Elite event, Dustin Connell. Dustin.
What's going on?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good. Are you at home? Are you still on the road, or where are you at?
I am. I'm here in Clanton, Alabama.
He talks like a normal person.
So, just hanging out here, man. I'm actually getting ready to leave Friday for Sam Rayburn.
Okay, good. Now, I asked everybody this fresh off a win. Here we are. We're a little over a week later. Has it set in yet? I still see a little bit of grin on your face.
Yes, it kind of has. You know, it's one of them deals. You know, I got home, and, man, I was so tired. And, I mean, you already know. I mean, you fish for 7 days straight, and then you get home, and you're like, oh, my gosh, I'm still give out, you know, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's starting to set in. Like today, matter of fact, I was out there fishing with my brother on a local lake we got here, Lake Mitchell. And, dude, there was like 10 ski boats riding by, and everybody who went by was like, good job, congrats. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I know a lot of our viewers and listeners remember we had you on after you won the Alabama River, and so it's great to have you back on. Is it a different feeling to win an Open and win an Elite? Is there a different feeling, or is it the same kind of victory, you know, for you mentally?
It's totally different, you know. And, man, you know, when I won that Open, I couldn't hardly talk because, you know, it's one of them deals. You work so hard, you know, in your fishing career, and finally you get that one big win that you needed. And I don't know, man. This past win, though, at that level, I mean, dude, I've been watching Bassmaster since I was 9 years old. You know, and I'm standing on stage with Kevin Van Dam, and it's crazy, man. But yes, it's a very big difference.
As I watched the live and saw kind of what you were dialed into, and saw that you didn't have that pressure that a lot of the guys had, you kind of had that deal to yourself. Man, that is like the perfect scenario. It's the perfect storm to win a tournament. Yeah. Pete, you know what I'm talking about. When you get dialed into something and you're alone. And
you don't see anybody.
And you're doing it yourself. Mm-hmm. God, that's a good... Did that make you feel good? It had to, going into the third and fourth day.
I was sitting there talking to Greg Hackney. It was the last day of practice. I got off the water at like 12 o'clock, and I go over and I see Jacob Prosnick and Greg sitting there tying on. And we were kind of, you know how it is. You're kind of feeling out how everybody's catching them, and just kind of, hey, are they biting and stuff like that. So I just kind of feeled out Greg a little bit and was like, Greg, I said, I figured I'd see you up that river. And he said, I saw you. I said, huh? I said, I didn't ever see you. He said, I see everything. I was like, yeah, I know it. And I said, well, where did you see me at? And he mentioned Caney Creek, and I know you know where that's at.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh, that's down a lot farther down from where I was at. And I was like, oh, all right. He said, well, why should I be up there? I said, I don't know. He said, they don't win tournaments up there. That's what he said. And, you know, and they really don't.
But, yeah.
You know, here's what we do around my house. This is my strength. I know for a fact, and I tell everybody this, I cannot flip better than Tommy Biffle. I can't flip better than Greg Hackney. I can't go out and crank better than Mike Iaconelli. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if I can separate myself, whether it's running 70 miles or going way in the back of a creek, somehow that's how I fish, or try to.
Yeah.
So, but that was the deal for me, just separate myself.
Yeah.
See, sometimes that messes with me the other way because I'm like, you don't see anybody else around. You're like, I'm on a stupid pattern. There's nobody else here.
Right.
It can mess with you the other way.
Yeah. I do that a lot, too. I'll be sitting there fishing. I'm like, what am I doing? There ain't nobody doing this. I'm not going to be doing this.
Yeah. Now, real quick, too, I know you've said this a million interviews already, but we got a lot of people listening and watching tonight. Give us the one key bait for you, weight size, line size, and bait that you threw last week.
I'll try to keep it. It really ain't. You know, complicated. I caught the first day of the tournament. It was Thursday. There was a shad spawn, and I caught all those that day on a 6th Sense Divine swim jig, and I had just a net bait trailer on the back.
Yeah.
And I caught all them by like 10 o'clock. And I had 20 pounds, and I was like, dude, I said, I don't want to be seen up here. I said, let's just go. I didn't flip any of them.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, I was running up the river, and there was 0 shad spawn. I don't know what happened, but nothing. I had 2 swim jig bites, and they may have been gar. I don't know. So, and at 10:30, I didn't have a bass, dude.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there, and you know, I call them demons, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, Mike.
Yeah.
You start spinning. You're just like, all right, well, do I need to just go save this tournament? This deal's done. You know, what do I go do now? So then I had a few backup areas, and there's boats all over them, and I didn't get no bites. So I said, I know what I need to do. I said, let's go. I ran like 10 miles back up the river, and I pulled out like 1.5 ounces with a punch skirt, and I just started flipping. And I pulled up to about 3 mats, and I didn't get a bite. And finally, this is what kind of turned the tournament for me. I flipped over into a mat, and it was in about 8 foot. And it didn't go through. I mean, you know what I'm about to say. It didn't go through. I'm sitting there shaking it, trying to go through, and the mat just went. I went, oh, no. Yeah. So I flipped back in there, and it went through, and I stuck her for a minute, and it was a big one. It was probably a 5-pounder. And she come off, and I went, I don't care if she come off. We just figured something out. So that's what I did the rest of the tournament. I just flipped them all up.
Yeah. Wow. That's that's awesome how that happens like that.
Hey, I got a question. So we had Jacob Wheeler on the show, and there was a big dust-up in regards to him getting in another angler's boat and proceeding to win the tournament. Now, you happen to be that angler whose boat he shared. Did you get any grief from anybody for that?
Do what?
Did anybody give you any grief for that? Or did he get it all?
Well, the only grief that I caught from it was everybody was asking. They was like, man, you know, Jacob Wheeler just came and took over your boat, didn't he? And I said, no, it wasn't nothing like that. You know, Jacob's a friend of mine. I met him about 1.5 years ago. And we ran, you know, he called me and I didn't answer the phone. And he ran up to my boat. I'm sitting out there fishing. And I done lost 2 or 3 that morning. I was aggravated. And he said, dude, my trolling motor's out. I ain't got no power. And he said, can I finish out my day with you? I said, yeah, come on. So we fished like 2 or 3 of my places. And then we fished 1 or 2 of his places. And we're just sitting there swapping out the trolling motor. I was like, dude, you go ahead and drop. This is your place. You know where to go drop at. And it wasn't a really big deal. I actually hooked up with 2 good fish on the boat with him, and he was using like 3-pound line, and I broke off with him. And I was like, what size line are you using? So he was, like, seriously, he was using like 4 and 6-pound line. I was like, dude, I got 8 and 10-pound line. I ain't breaking mine off. I asked him, I said, dude, is this even legal? I really did. I thought he was kidding. He was like, I said, this ain't no team tournament. I said, have you called Trip Weldon? And he was like, yeah, I swear it's good. I said, dude, are you kidding? And he was like, no, we can do this. I said, well, as long as Trip Weldon's fine with it, I'm fine. I don't care. Let's go. So it was all good, I guess.
Well, man, I got to tell you, thanks for joining us. Impressive win. I'm so happy for you.
Impressive career.
Yeah, short career.
2 wins.
2 wins
already.
They're already writing him off.
Appreciate it.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's crazy, but we appreciate you coming on the show, and I'm going to see you in in less than a week. So we'll see it. Right. We'll see you at Rayburn.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good job,
appreciate
buddy.
it, Dustin.
See you.